Really? Well, if there's problems in politics, there's always problems in the banking system. And let's just have a little recap of matters in Switzerland. Now, these have been sent across the UK column from Trevor, who we've interviewed. This is a man who dared to challenge what was happening in the Swiss franc trading markets. And we've done a couple of very good interviews with Trevor. But this material, he's setting out AML opinion, anti-financial crime and financial crime compliance. And a headline here, opinion, why Switzerland is a haven for the world's biggest money launderers. And if we just put a bit of meat on this. So if you look at the text, a lot of this is blamed on kleptocracies like Russia and other former USSR countries maneuvering illicit funds, cleverly digitized, infiltrating the Western financial systems. And the inference is almost that the Western systems are clean and it's those nasty Russians again. This paragraph goes on to talk about Danske Bank, guilty for laundering 160 billion through the US banks. And then other banks get mentioned like Standard Chartered, HSBC and Goldman Sachs. They've all faced penalties. Here's another opinion, why Switzerland is a haven for the world's biggest money launderers. And in this particular section here, it's talking about more fraud, and a mere £230 million fraud is mentioned in an account belonging to the then husband of Olga Stepanova, a Russian tax official. So it's a heavy commentary on the Russians, and it goes on here talking that the Swiss prosecutor decided to freeze some funds but actually release others. And this is comment on the new money laundering laws coming in. If the new rules are accepted, lawyers, accountants and other company consultants who set up trusts or holding companies or arrange real estate deals will also become subject to due diligence rules and reporting obligations. So it all sounds good. Now, Trevor highlighted, this isn't his quote, this is a quote he highlighted from the article, how the Swiss Attorney General's office introduced a mechanism awarding sophisticated money launderers, and how the Federal Criminal Court in Bellinzona turned it into legal precedent. Now, any money launderer wishing to launder hundreds of millions or even billions through the Swiss financial system who gets caught by authorities can simply request the application of this proportional method as a legal precedent. Well, it all sounds pretty nice. We are stamping on criminality while it appears helping the criminals. Trevor, welcome to UK Column. Tell us how you discovered this little opaque mess and what it really means.
Well, thank you for having me, Brian. It's nice to be here. What I've picked up on here with this money laundering, it's that they're introducing in Switzerland. This mechanism is called proportional method of dealing with money laundering. And this is to analyze the amount of, it's a proportional method that the Swiss Attorney General has introduced, or let's say even got people to work on, to analyze the amount of money that's being laundered. And in fact, the Federal Criminal Court, which is based in the Italian part of Switzerland, in a place called Bellinzona, they have turned this, as you mentioned, into legal precedent. But before I go on, I would also like to say what you picked up on is they seem to be attacking just Russia. This doesn't apply just to Russia. This applies to all countries. But a lot of other countries have made leaps and bounds in getting rid of money laundering, but Switzerland seemed to be on another track altogether. Anyway, these legal precedents are normally used, and perhaps Alex could quote me on this or correct me if I'm wrong, used in common law. So it is seen that Switzerland is now, which is all country, is picking with law systems way on the proportion that they're using Switzerland. Without too much detail, there is a link website, AML, which stands for anti-money laundering. The Swiss logic is now to use this proportional method. So say, for example, you have $1 million entering the system for a many laundering process. Yes, Brian, sorry.
Sorry, Trevor, I had to come in. Your audio is breaking up quite badly for some reason. Just try again and see if we get on. If not, I'll take the audience through some of your key points, and we'll invite people to join us for extra after the news, where you'll have longer to speak. But just try again and see how we get on.
Okay, so shall I start from?
No, we've still got a problem, I'm afraid, Trevor. So with your blessing, I'll just move the audience through some of your key points, and we'll see if we can rectify the sound, and you will be with us for extra time, and we can talk about this more. So these were thank you. These were some of the key points. So Trevor said recently he's come back to the point of enablers. These are law firms that disguise themselves as wealth management and family wealth protectors. It was a big business in Switzerland, and here are some of the stages of, I'm going to say, quote, wealth management, unquote. 1, extraction into Switzerland. Swiss lawyers and lawmakers poach business by setting up structures. The business is to poach, plunder, launder money, avoid tax, etc. 2, wealth managers and family business wealth planners. Swiss bankers and lawyers entice foreign clients to deposit their funds in Switzerland's banks. 3, these wealth management law firms charge fees to assist in set up structures that protect clients from tax enforcement in the country of origin. 4, once set up, lawyers switch sides and assist the country of origin to have clients voluntarily disclose tax avoidance. That generates more fees. And lastly, Swiss law firms lost most of their money laundering tax dodging business, are now using their talents to seize steal assets, not just from oligarchs, but whistleblowers and any other member of the public who opposes or is critical of Switzerland's leaders. Its business and lawmakers are at the heart of it. So this is obviously a very strong commentary. Trevor, we'll give it one last shot. You've just got 2 minutes just to comment on what I've given the audience there.
Okay, well, I do say that it's law firms that are behind this, and there are, to be perfectly clear, there are 3,700 law firms in Zurich alone in Switzerland, and most of those work on foundations, family wealth, trusts, offshore structures. So I would say, the thing is, you mentioned earlier about this 4 million that was seized or taken as a fee by the Swiss government, while they unfroze several hundred million. The question for me would be, Brian, and should be for public, I'd say, is that this raises a serious concern about who's making these decisions and how they're being reached. Let's just fine the banks or the launderers, and then it should be all right. So I could take you through the process of this laundering, this proportional method. Say the first million that enters at the first level of the money laundering process is $1 million. Then what the Swiss government would say was, well, we've recognized 100,000 of this, 10%, as being from criminal origins, but we don't recognize the other 900,000. It's unidentifiable for us. So every dollar that leaves this account goes into a clean account. And so they will apply this proportional method to all the rest of the money that's passing through their banks. So this involves passing illicit funds through multiple shell companies, and these layers can go up to 10 different layers. So it gets very complicated. And then finally, it's integrated back into the system. So in essence, the Swiss Attorney General has perceived a tiny portion of that money as laundering money, to be dirty.
Right. Trevor, thank you for that. An amazing system. It's sort of proportional criminality. But you've raised that key question. We should be looking at policy and who it is that can make such bizarre policy. While at the end of the day, it's obviously the investors, it's the public that suffer. We must move on from there, but you will be with us for extra time, so the audience can join us again in extra to hear more of Trevor's analysis. Well, if you like what UK Column is doing, then please join us, become a subscriber, and apart from anything else, you can join in extra time and join our community and discuss things with other like-minded and often very well-informed people. Please have a look at the shop. There's always something of interest there. And of course, purchases help what we're doing. And everything we're doing is designed to be shared. The information is for sharing. So obviously, acknowledging UK Column, please do that and help